We're talking about the thyroid. How do the thyroid and adrenals tie together?
Well, they're both necessary for metabolism.
Okay.
And we'll see that low adrenal is a stress handler, while the thyroid's a gas pedal. Um, a lot of people are having exhaustion of their adrenal stress handler glands because of the stress of modern life.
Hmm.
It used to be, you'd send somebody a letter, and Pony Express would take 6 weeks, they'd come back, and you'd answer, and if there's a crisis, it maybe happened every like a year or two, as opposed to tonight's crisis,
Hmm.
on CNN or Fox or whatever, MSNBC. So the adrenals tend to get exhausted. These are the stress handler. Um, so they, if you treat just the thyroid but you have adrenal exhaustion, now you're picking up metabolism and you're putting more stress on the adrenal, and that can get worse.
Okay.
So the symptoms of low thyroid: tired, achy, weight gain, cold intolerant, pretty easy. I mean, there's dozens of others, high cholesterol, the rest. But the testing for adrenal, where most tests, if you're in the lowest 2%, the doctor will say you're abnormal. We define it differently for adrenal problems. And there's a whole history of it, but basically you have to be in the lowest out of 100,000. You have to be so low that it can kill you. Otherwise, you are totally normal. So most people run a morning cortisol about 18 to 22.
Hmm.
If it's under 6, it's called Addison's disease, life-threatening. Put the person in the hospital, metal alert bracelet, put them on 35 milligrams cortisol. But if it's 6.1, no problem. 5.9, it can kill you. 6.1, no problem. And if you do 2 cortisols on the same tube of blood on the same person, because I've done this, it'll vary 4 to 8 points.
Hmm.
So 4 to 8 points difference is on the same tube of blood. 5.9, life-threatening. 6.1, totally normal. God bless modern medicine. Insane. So how do you tell if you need adrenal support? Well, there's this very simple high-tech approach that I take. And what I do is I ask the person and their spouse or friends, if they're coming with them, are there periods where it's like a light switch goes off and you've got 3 minutes to feed them or they will kill you, and both of them go like this? It's what I call the feed me now or I'll kill you syndrome. That's low adrenal until proven otherwise. And very simple adrenal support: increased water, increased salt, and then licorice, B5, and vitamin C, and adrenal glandulars. You can find all of that, those last four, in a product called Adrenal Stress End. Excellent product. You take 1 or 2 capsules a day, it'll smooth it out. But you want to go ahead, if you salt restrict somebody with low adrenal, they will crash and burn.
Okay.
The current advice to avoid salt is really misguided. Avoid sugar, absolutely. Sugar, and I have my book, Beat Sugar Addiction Now. Shameless plug. There's 3 books in this series. One's a cookbook and one's for children. It teaches you how to come off the sugar without going through withdrawal by treating the cause of the sugar addiction. But if you have low adrenal, basically irritability when hungry, if you get lightheaded when you stand up, low blood pressure, crashing with stress, recurrent sore throat, swollen glands. But basically, if you're at a divorce lawyer or marital counselor, there's a good chance you have low adrenal causing the problems, because you go irritable, and then it's interpreted as like, well, why do you hate me? And it's like, feed me now. So treat the low adrenal. Simple: increase salt, increase water, multiple small meals during the day, high protein, adrenal stress end.
Okay.
You'll find within a week the person's going to be feeling a whole lot better. And then also get rid of some of the stress in your life. A big one, if you're watching the national news, the national nightmare, national delusion, it's nonsense. It's mostly just meant to scare people. I remember when I was a kid, Madison Avenue, the advertising execs had a mantra, and it was sex sells. If you want to sell something, have pretty ladies or handsome guys around it, and it doesn't matter what you're selling, and you have it there. But somewhere over the decades, it changed to fear sells. And fear, and that, so the media now tries to scare people to death all the time, or a lot of the time anyway, and that exhausts their adrenal glands. So learning to say no to things that don't feel good, really good way to heal up your adrenals.